Hi, it's Beth. Welcome to 2 Kings 22:11. When the king heard the words of the book of the law, he tore his clothes. Reading the Bible to you in a year. Today we are in Leviticus chapter 16 to 18. After the death of Aaron's two sons, who died when they encroached on the Lord's presence, the Lord spoke to Moses and said to tell him, "Tell your brother Aaron that he is not to come whenever he pleases into the inner sanctuary inside the veil, in the front cover on the ark, lest he die. For I reveal myself in a cloud above the ark's cover. Only in this way may Aaron enter the inner sanctuary. He shall bring a bull of the herd for a purification offering, and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall wear the sacred linen tunic with the linen pants underneath, gird himself with the linen sash, and put on the linen turban. But since these vestments are sacred, he shall not put them on until he has first bathed his body in water. From the Israelite community he shall receive 2 male goats for a purification offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. Aaron shall offer the bull, his purification offering, to make atonement for himself and for his household, taking the 2 male goats and setting them before the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting. He shall cast lots to determine which one is for the Lord and which one for Azazel. The goat is determined by lot for the Lord. Aaron shall present and offer up as a purification offering. But the goat determined by lot for Azazel he shall place before the Lord alive, so that with it he may make atonement by sending it off to Azazel in the desert. Thus shall Aaron offer his bull for the purification offering, to make atonement for himself and his family. When he has slaughtered it, he shall take a censer full of glowing embers from the altar before the Lord, as well as a double handful of finely ground, fragrant incense, and bringing them inside to the veil. There before the Lord he shall put incense on the fire, so that a cloud of incense may shield the cover that is over the covenant, else he will die. Taking some of the bull's blood, he shall sprinkle it with his finger on the front of the ark's cover, and likewise sprinkle some of the blood with his finger 7 times in front of the cover. Then he shall slaughter the goat of the people's purification offering, and bringing its blood inside the veil, he shall do with it as he did with the bull's blood, sprinkling it on the ark's cover and in front of it. Thus he shall purge the inner sanctuary of all the Israelites' impurities and trespasses, including all their sins. He shall do the same for the tent of meeting, which is set up among them in the midst of their uncleanness. No one else may be in the tent of meeting from the time he enters the inner sanctuary to make atonement until he departs. When he has made atonement for himself and his household, as well as for the whole Israelite assembly, he shall come out to the altar before the Lord and purge it also. Taking some of the bull's and goat's blood, he shall put it on the horns around the altar, and with his finger sprinkle some of the blood on it 7 times. Thus he shall purify it and sanctify it from the impurities of the Israelites. When he has finished purging the inner sanctuary, the tent of meeting, and the altar, Aaron shall bring forward the live goat. Laying both hands on its head, he shall confess over it all the iniquities of Israel and their trespasses, including all their sins, and so put them on the goat's head. He shall then have it led into the wilderness by an attendant. The goat will carry off all their iniquities to an isolated region. When the goat is dispatched into the wilderness, Aaron shall go into the tent of meeting, strip off the linen vestments he had put on when he entered the inner sanctuary, and leave them in the tent of meeting. After bathing his body with water in a sacred place, he shall put on his regular vestments, and then come out and offer his own and the people's burnt offerings in atonement for himself and for the people, and also burn the fat of the purification offering on the altar. The man who led away the goat for Azazel shall wash his garments and bathe his body in water. Only then may he enter the camp. The bull and the goat of the purification offering, whose blood was brought to make atonement in the inner sanctuary, shall be taken outside the camp, where their hides and flesh and dung shall be burned in the fire. The one who burns them shall wash his garments and bathe his body in water. Only then may he enter the camp. This shall be an everlasting statute for you. On the 10th day of the 7th month, every one of you, whether a native or a resident alien, shall humble yourselves and shall do no work. For on this day atonement is made for you to make you clean. Of all your sins you will be cleansed before the Lord. It shall be a Sabbath of complete rest for you, on which you must humble yourselves, an everlasting statute. This atonement is to be made by the priest who has been anointed and ordained to the priesthood in succession to his father. He shall wear linen garments, the sacred vestments, and purge the most sacred part of the sanctuary, as well as the tent of meeting and the altar. He shall also make atonement for the priests and all the people of the assembly. This then shall be an everlasting statute for you. Once a year, atonement shall be made on behalf of the Israelites for all their sins. And Moses did as the Lord had commanded him. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to Aaron and his sons, as well as to all the Israelites, and tell them, this is what the Lord has commanded. Any Israelite who slaughters an ox or a sheep or a goat, whether in the camp or outside of it, without first bringing it to the entrance of the tent of meeting, to present it as an offering to the Lord in front of the Lord's tabernacle, shall be judged guilty of bloodshed. That individual has shed blood and shall be cut off from the people. This is so that such sacrifices as they used to offer in the open field the Israelites shall henceforth bring to the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting, to the priest, and sacrifice them there as communion sacrifices to the Lord. The priest will splash the blood on the altar of the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and burn the fat for an odor pleasing to the Lord. No longer shall they offer their sacrifices to demons with whom they prostituted themselves. This shall be an everlasting statute for them and their descendants. Tell them, therefore, anyone, whether of the house of Israel or the aliens residing among them, who offers a burnt offering or sacrifice without bringing it to the entrance of the tent of the meeting to offer it to the Lord, shall be cut off from the people. As for anyone, whether of the house of Israel or of the aliens residing among them, who consumes any blood, I will set myself against that individual and will cut that person off from among the people, since the life of the flesh is in the blood. And I have given it to you to make atonement on the altar for yourselves, because it is the blood as life that makes atonement. This is why I have told the Israelites, no one among you, not even a resident alien, may consume the blood. Anyone hunting, whether the Israelites or the aliens residing among you, who catches an animal or a bird that may be eaten shall pour out its blood and cover it with the earth, since all the life of flesh is in its blood. I have told the Israelites, you shall not consume the blood of any flesh, since the life of all flesh is in its blood. Anyone who consumes it shall be cut off. Everyone, whether a native or an alien, who eats of an animal that died of itself or was killed by a wild beast shall wash his garments, bathe in water, and be unclean until evening, and then become clean. If he does not wash his garments and bathe, that person shall bear the penalty. The Lord said to Moses, Speak to the Israelites and tell them, I am the Lord your God. You shall not do as they do in the land of Egypt, where you once lived, nor shall you do as they do in the land of Canaan, where I am bringing you. Do not conform to their customs. My decrees you shall carry out, and my statutes you shall take to follow. I, the Lord, am your God. Keep then my statutes and decrees. For the person who carries them out will find life through them. I am the Lord. None of you shall approach a close relative to have sexual intercourse. I am the Lord. You shall not disgrace your father by having intercourse with your mother. She is your own mother. You shall not have intercourse with her. You shall not have intercourse with your father's wife, for that would be a disgrace to your father. You shall not have intercourse with your sister, your father's daughter, or your mother's daughter, whether she was born in your own household or born elsewhere. You shall not have intercourse with your son's daughter or with your daughter's daughter, for that would be a disgrace to you. You shall not have intercourse with the daughter whom your father's wife bore to him in his household, since she too is your sister. You shall not have intercourse with your mother's sister, since she is your mother's relative. You shall not disgrace your father's brother by having sexual relations with his wife, since she too is your aunt. You shall not have intercourse with your daughter-in-law. She is your son's wife. You shall not have intercourse with her. You shall not have intercourse with your brother's wife. That would be a disgrace to your brother. You shall not have intercourse with a woman and also with her daughter, nor shall you marry and have intercourse with her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter. They are related to her. This would be shameful. While your wife is still living, you shall not marry her sister as her rival and have intercourse with her. You shall not approach a woman to have intercourse with her while she is in her menstrual uncleanness. You shall not have sexual relations with your neighbor's wife, defiling yourself with her. You shall not offer any of your offspring for immolation to Molech, thus profaning the name of the Lord your God. I am the Lord. You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. Such a thing is an abomination. You shall not have sexual relations with an animal, defiling yourself with it, nor shall a woman set herself in front of an animal to mate with it. That is perverse. Do not defile yourselves by any of these things, because by them the nations whom I am driving out of your way have defiled themselves, and so the land has become defiled, and I have punished it for its wickedness, and the land has vomited out its inhabitants. You, however, must keep my statutes and decrees, avoiding all these abominations, both the natives and the alien resident among you, because the previous inhabitants did all these abominations, and the land became defiled. Otherwise, the land will vomit you out also for having defiled it. just as it vomited out the nations before you. For whoever does any of these abominations shall be cut off from the people. Heed my charge. Then do not observe the abominable customs that have been observed before your time, and thus become impure by them. I am the Lord, your God. The book of Matthew, chapter 8, verse 23 through chapter 9, verse 13. He got into a boat, and his disciples followed him. Suddenly, a violent storm came up on the sea, so that the boat was being swamped by waves, but he was asleep. They came and woke him, saying, Lord, save us! We are perishing. He said to them, Why are you terrified, O you of little faith? Then he got up, rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. The men were amazed and said, What sort of man is this, whom even the winds and the sea obey? When he came to the other side, to the territory of the Gadarenes, 2 demoniacs who were coming from the tombs met him. They were so savage that no one could travel by that road. They cried out, What do you have to do with us, Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the appointed time? Some distance away, a herd of many swine was feeding. The demons pleaded with him, If you drive us out, please send us into the herd of swine. And he said to them, Go then. They came out and entered the swine, and the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the sea, where they drowned. The swineherds ran away, and when they came to the town, they reported everything, including what had happened to the demoniacs. Thereupon the whole town came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they begged him to leave their district. He entered a boat, made the crossing, and came into his own town. And there the people brought to him a paralytic lying on a stretcher. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralytic, Courage, child, your sins are forgiven. At that, some of the scribes said to themselves, This man is blaspheming. Jesus knew what they were thinking and said, Why do you harbor evil thoughts? Which is easier to say, Your sins are forgiven, or to say, Rise and walk? But that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. He then said to the paralytic, Rise, pick up your stretcher and go home. He rose and went home. When the crowd saw this, they were struck with awe and glorified God who had given such authority to human beings. As Jesus passed on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the customs post. He said to him, Follow me. He got up and followed him. While he was at the table in his house, many tax collectors and sinners came and sat with Jesus and his disciples. The Pharisees saw this and said to his disciples, Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners? He heard this and said, Those who do well do not need a physician, but the sick do. Go and learn the meaning of the words, I desire mercy, not sacrifice. I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners. Thus ends the reading for today. Never walk alone.